Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. It's Wednesday, November 18, 2015. I'm Cholapansa Narula and here are today's top stories. In today's Thailand Moves Forward, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has ordered a security beef up after the Paris attacks on the 13th of November and confirmed his participation in the UNFCCC Conference of Parties in France. The Prime Minister said on Tuesday he had instructed the authorities to stay vigilant following the attacks. As for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change conference to be held in France late this month, he said he would attend the meeting if it was not cancelled to show solidarity and give moral support to France. Secretary General of the National Security Council, General Taweeb Niyom, said that the Thai government was closely monitoring the terror attacks. He confirmed that no ISIS member had been found to be involved in insurgency in the Thai southern border region, and there had been no movement of the group in the country. Meanwhile, Bangkok Governor Mom Ratchabong Sukhumpan Boripat attended a meeting with representatives of many security units on security measures in Bangkok to ensure safety for the public. In the southern border province of Songkhla, Thai and foreign tourists are still visiting the province as usual, as they are confident in the security measures of the Thai authorities. Foreign Affairs Minister Don Paramatvinay and Commerce Minister Piradi Tantraporn attended an APEC ministerial meeting in Manila, the Philippines. During the APEC ministerial meeting, the Thai Foreign Minister delivered a statement on extensive growth through sustainable and resilient development, which he said need to be adjusted to cities and communities. More than half of the world population live in rapidly expanding urban areas, which do not only concern economic conditions, but also food security, energy, water management, and the dealing with natural disasters and climate change. Thailand focuses on human development through education, upgrading technology and innovation, and allowing all sectors to equally benefit from the economic growth without neglecting the disadvantaged. In addition, the Foreign Minister attended a bilateral meeting with Australian Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister Julie Bishop to discuss varied issues ranging from human trafficking, food-making innovation, and guidelines to measures to promote cooperation between the two countries, while Australian investors were also invited to invest in Thailand's special economic zones. The Cabinet has given the green light to the plan to develop Thailand into the regional hub for automotive research and testing, while the Cabinet has also approved other plans to boost private investment. Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kamnet announced the results of the weekly Cabinet meeting, saying the Cabinet approved in principle the Finance Ministry's measure to support Thailand in becoming the region's center of research, development and performance testing for prototype vehicles. The Finance Ministry eyes granting special privileges to qualified researchers through the exemption of import tariff, excise tax and value-added tax. The Excise Department has been tasked with overseeing the matter and assessing the eligibility of each operator for the tax waivers. It is believed that the measure will cost the government a small portion of its revenue. However, it will in turn lend a great boost to investment, generate a number of job opportunities, and raise the competitiveness of the Thai automotive sector. Meanwhile, the Cabinet has agreed to add 10 more industries to the list of those eligible for investment support, hoping to boost private investment. After the meeting, Industry Minister Achakasi Bunreung made known that approval was granted to the proposal to expand the government's provision of investment privileges to cover 10 more industries. The move is targeted to allow investment in the private sector to grow at an average rate of 10% per year. Such expansion of investment would also push up the GDP by around 5 to 6%. The new target industries include industrial robotics, transport and aviation, bioindustry, digital industry, health and medicine. The remainder comprises existing industries which will be further developed, including automotive, electronics, tourism, agriculture, biotechnology and food. Initially, the Ministry of Finance has a plan to set up a fund to support the private sector's investment and reduce corporate income tax on top of the privileges already being offered by the Board of Investment. The Department of Business Development, or DBD, has reported that the number of business registrations in October exceeded 5,000 after the Thai economy began to show signs of recovery. According to DBD Director General Pongpan Jiaviriyapan, a total of 5,231 new businesses were set up in October with a combined capital of more than 20 billion baht. Even though the number was a decrease from October 2015 by 135 businesses, it still met the department's expectation and reflected a rebound in the Thai economy. Most of the registered businesses belong to the construction sector, followed by real estate, restaurant, management consultancy, and machinery wholesale industries. The registration number during the first 10 months of this year totaled 52,390, an increase of 1% from the same period last year. On the other hand, the number of business closures was recorded at 2,187 in October, up from the same month in 2014, and total over 14,000 for the 10-month period. The majority of closures were found in the lottery business. The National Reform Steering Assembly has made some proposals on the reform of public health, with the people at the center of such an effort. NRSA Second Vice President Walairatsi Arun chaired the meeting, during which one of the topics brought up for discussion is the public health affairs. Dr. Pornpan Bunyaratpan, who was the former chairman of the public health reform under the disbanded National Reform Council, said that this reform process must comprise the actions for public health system, the health promotion system, and the disease prevention mechanism, as well as the financial management for health affairs. She stressed that only with consideration of these elements, the health reform efforts will be successful. Dr. Pornpan added that the reform must also aim at helping people of all income levels while also promoting self-reliance. The spokesman of the Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, has not yet drawn any conclusion on the origin of senators under the effect of the new charter. CDC spokesman Norachit Singhaseni said that the charter drafters meeting has moved on to discuss the issues related to the Senate, but has not completed the deliberation. Mr. Norachit said that the CDC has been looking at the principles and the power of senators, particularly in the vetting of draft laws and the consideration of the components of all independent organizations. However, he revealed that the senators elected under the new charter will likely have no power to impeach any political office holder, for instance. The CDC spokesman added that the charter drafters will be open for any opinions from all parties about how the new constitution should be. Turning to our next story, the Ministry of Public Health has instructed related agencies to prepare for the Bike for Dad event, and there has been other talks with the Ministry of Education regarding the plan to cut class hours in public schools. Permanent Secretary of Public Health, Dr. Sopon Mekton, said during a teleconference with provincial health officials that medical services for the Bike for Dad event on December 11 will be available for those who might need assistance. He said that hospitals located near the cycling route to be ready for any emergencies, and there will be medical camps and mobile units set up. The Permanent Secretary then said that there will be a year-round road accident prevention campaign. Dr. Sopon has tasked each province with compiling a list of their risk-prone areas and developing prevention plans, and the campaign will be re-evaluated every 3 months. He also mentioned that officials are working with the Ministry of Education about the plan to reduce class hours as well. Provinces in the north of Thailand have begun welcoming large numbers of tourists. Meanwhile, Chiang Mai's irrigation department has collected water from the irrigation canal in the Ma Tang district to be stored for emergency use. Chiang Mai's Deputy Governor Mongkol Suksai said the water collection project will store a total of 1.091 million cubic meters of water in preparation for the expected severe drought next year. At the province's Doi Intanon, tourists have flocked to experience the national park's low temperatures, which were recorded at 7 degrees Celsius on the mountaintop and 6 degrees at the Mapan observation point. Meanwhile, flights to and from Nan province have been subject to delays of up to 1 hour. Nan's provincial airport reported that heavy fog in the vicinity has reduced visibility to only 200 meters. And in Nakhon Phanom province, Pu Panoi Mountain has provided camping grounds for tourists who have traveled to the area to experience the serenity and cold weather at the national park. A total of 135 flights, both to and from Chiang Mai province, have either been cancelled or rescheduled from November 24th to the 26th in order to avoid floating lanterns, which will be released during the Loi Krathong festival. The Chiang Mai Provincial Administrative Organization had earlier announced a ban on floating lanterns in Mueang, Hang Dong, San Sai, Marim, and Sarapi districts. The ban has been temporarily lifted to boost tourism on November 25th, the Loi Krathong Day, and also December 31st, that's New Year's Eve. Floating lanterns are allowed in other districts under the condition that residents inform the Chiang Mai Air Traffic Control Center and the Chiang Mai Airport at least 7 days in advance. So far, there have been 84 flights cancelled between November 24th and 26th, of which 72 were domestic flights. Another 51 flights have rescheduled their arriving time. Travelers are strongly advised to consult their airlines to confirm the exact timetable. The Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights, or OHCHR, has discussed various issues in the southern region of Thailand with the Southern Border Provinces Administrative Center, or SBPAC. A representative of the OHCHR, Mr. Imesh Pokharo, and SBPAC Secretary General Panu Thairat talked about recent developments regarding strategies for the southern provinces from 2015 to 2017. Mr. Panu stated that the situation in the south has significantly improved over the past 12 months as the SBPAC has been receiving cooperation from the public. He has said that the agency is now running the Moral Family campaign, which discourages members of the public from narcotics, disturbing peace, and also encourages volunteerism. Mr. Imesh has learned a great deal of SBPAC's accomplishments in peacemaking, upholding justice, while also assisting the public. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. We'll now take a quick look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. Newsline will be back with the international news update. Stay with us.
Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. Third core value: being grateful to parents and teachers.
Thailand Today this Wednesday, November the 18th. We'll hear Ms. Salini Wangdan, Director General of the Office of the Small and Medium Enterprise Promotion, about SME Community Development Scheme in Southern Muslim provinces in collaboration with the Royal Thai Aid-Account Department. She also pointing out the ideas, the challenges, and the success of these upscale community-based commercial initiatives.
We call self-learning center in each province.
Yeah,
They're raising the cow, good quality cow like a Wagyu. All of them are self-sufficient and they are living very happily. By doing this, we will be able to expand the happiness and peace to other villages, which is the vision of Her Majesty the Queen.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Now let's have a look at ASEAN and beyond. Mr. Tarun Chaisorn, Deputy Director General of the Public Relations Department, presided over the closing ceremony for the Vietnamese language training course for PRD personnel. The Vietnamese language training course, organized by the PRD's Foreign Office at Hall 203 in the premises of the department, was provided in part under an MOU between Thailand and Vietnam news agencies. It aimed to enable the department's personnel to skillfully communicate in Vietnamese and to prepare themselves for the Media Practitioners Exchange Program between the two countries. 20 department officials have completed the training course scheduled from August until November 2015. On this occasion, the Deputy Director General delivered a closing address to the trainees and presented certificates to them. He said that this is the collaboration between Thailand and Vietnam under the MOU signed.
จาก VNA ซึ่งเป็นสำนักข่าวสารเวียดนาม
This is the collaboration between Thailand and Vietnam under the MOU. I expected the trainees to continue to improve their Vietnamese skills at work in the wake of the ASEAN integration at the end of 2015, while the Vietnamese people are expected to know more about the Thai culture.
He expected the trainees to continue to improve their Vietnamese skills at work in the wake of the ASEAN integration at the end of 2015, while the Vietnamese people are expected to know more about the Thai culture. In other global news, tens of thousands of Greeks marched in an anti-austerity protest in Athens to mark the anniversary of a 1973 bloody student revolt against the ruling military junta. Clashes broke out at the end of the march, and riot police officers unleashed several volleys of tear gas to disperse groups of protesters who pelted them with petrol bombs and stones. Protesters lit rubbish bins on fire and engaged in a cat-and-mouse chase through the streets with officers. The annual protest is a focal point for Greeks protesting against government policies. In recent years, protesters have directed anger at wage and pension cuts imposed under a €240 billion bailout by the European Union and International Monetary Fund, or IMF. Students, workers and pensioners waving flags and chanting marched to the U.S. Embassy as well. Protesters accused the United States of backing the 1967 to 1974 military dictatorship. A plane carrying Syrian refugees landed in Scotland's Glasgow airport to begin a process of resettling 20,000 Syrian refugees by the end of this decade. Britain's policy has been to interview and vet Syrians in refugee camps around Syria instead of those who have crossed into Europe illegally through dangerous routes. The UN Refugee Agency and Germany's police chief urged European countries not to demean or reject refugees because one of the Paris bombers was believed to have slipped into Europe among migrants registered in Greece. Meanwhile, Mexico's National Security Commissioner, Renato Sales, said security at embassies, border areas and airports are tighter since the attack. Earlier this year, media reports emerged that ISIS was operating a camp in Mexico's northern border region, close to the U.S. border. However, no officials have confirmed the reports. Pollsters and analysts in Argentina pointed to the probability of opposition candidate Mauricio Macri triumphing over ruling party candidate Daniel Scioli in the Sunday's vote. Pollster Analia Del Franco said that while the number fluctuated, Macri maintains anywhere from a 5 to 12-point lead over Scioli in the polls. Macri promises to spur investment by quickly dismantling Fernandez's trade and currency controls. Scioli's message of gradual change towards more orthodox policies while preserving Fernandez's generous welfare programs has failed to catch fire with the middle-class swing voters who will decide the election. Regardless of who wins the Sunday's runoff election, the incoming president will inherit an economy mired in trouble. Foreign reserves are precariously low, the fiscal deficit is widening on a surge in public spending, growth is sluggish, and inflation is high. Devotees in India's eastern Bihar state gathered along the banks of the river Ganges in Patna city to please the sun god. Standing waist-deep in water, they prayed for the well-being of their family members. People visit the riverbanks during the Chhat Puja festival to pay respect to the sun god at dawn as well as dusk, preferably just prior to the sunrise and sunset. The festival is celebrated on the 6 and 7 days after Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights. Authorities also focus much of their energy on preventing accidents from happening when huge crowds gather on the riverbanks. In 1995, 78 people died when a boat carrying devotees capsized midstream during the festival. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Newsline. We hope you enjoyed the program today. If you do have any suggestions or comments, please feel free to write them to us. The email address is newsline.nbt@gmail.com. Also reminding you that we have other channels for you to contact us or have a look at the Daily News Update. Facebook, simply type in NNT and you'll find out more about what's happening in the country. And our news website is thainews.prd.go.th/en. That is. It's time now to say goodbye, so we bring you some fantastic Spectre cars from the latest Bond movie on display in London. I'm Chula Pansanarula. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Newsline at NBT. Sawadee ka.